Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, April 13th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, couple of explanations. First off, the price you see over here will be moving around and changing as I talk, and then the candlestick will also be moving. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, and I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, NCMI. Very, very big mover today, huge volume, and now we do have a pullback, and this is where things get a little tricky because it's all about perspective. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to talk about, and you're buying right there, or maybe you're buying right there, then yeah, from that point of view, from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad because there's no doubt about it. From the highs, there has been this downwards pullback here. You can't refute that. However, if you care about the bigger picture point of view, well then, hence the term bigger picture, you're going to care about more than just this downwards pullback here. You're going to say, well, what was happening before this current pullback? And you'd say, wow, the move made a huge move in the upwards direction, which has now actually allowed me to draw a bull flag pattern. So again, it's going to depend on your perspective and your strategy going in, but assuming you do care about the bigger picture point of view, all that you have now is a bull flag pattern. So if you like penny stocks, if you like bull flag patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one, GFAI, monster mover today. Sort of went quiet for a little bit, but it did, just form a little wedge right here. And then today the wedge broke on the big volume and then has not really looked back. So you got to think a lot of eyeballs will be watching this one moving forward. So first key level to watch now moving forward in terms of pullbacks is just this former breakout point right there at the $28 mark. That's just basic technical analysis. When levels of resistance are broken and closed above, they tend to act as support. So if the price does come down there to $28, not guaranteed, there are no guarantees, but is it plausible to think that the price could hold at 28? That is certainly a plausible scenario. If you want to be a little bit more conservative in terms of, trying to get some sort of pullback entry, right down there around $24 is another interesting level. In terms of levels of resistance, very straightforward, nothing fancy, nothing complicated at all. Literally just a question of where did the party finally stop today? And that was up there at 34.75. So for that reason alone is going to be the key battleground, I think, was 34.85. So 34.85 will be that key battleground, like I said, just for the simple reason that's where the party finally stopped today. But all in all, any way you look at it, if you like big movers, you like high volatility, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, AMC has been, a very, very impressive mover. And the first thing I'm going to do is, now that we have more data, I'm going to adjust this area of resistance. But the key is, well, what direction is this adjustment being made? And with the data, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this area of resistance up to that level now at 573. So whenever levels of resistance need to be adjusted upwards, assuming you're bullish, that is a good thing. You want to see levels of resistance needing to be adjusted higher. So keep an eye on that level, which, after the data we've gotten today, very clear. You can see rejected there, tried again, rejected right there. So yes, that is going to be the newest level of resistance. But again, adjustments upwards, that is certainly a good thing. As far as levels of support, let me get this extended over here. I talked about this in past videos, and surprise, surprise, the power of charts. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, price came down here and it's now found some support right at that green line there. And you also have the purple line, the 50-period moving average, not that far below it at $5.31. So to make this easy, let's just call the key level of support headed into Thursday right there at $5.30. So that kind of gives it plenty of wiggle room down around this area of support. But all in all, the trend continues. Put in a higher high today, which is good, and it's still working on building an overall higher base. So let's see how it plays out on Thursday. Next one, CELZ. This is a very ugly looking chart right now, but longer time viewers, you know what I'll say next. But there can be opportunity in the ugly. So there's no doubt about it. Yes, this is, to think that the price was up here and to think that there were some poor souls buying at those areas right there, and then to have the price all the way down to where it is now. A pretty brutal move, but it does go back to just a question of, if you can be disciplined, if you can, honor stop losses, then you could get some sort of nice little pullback entry point where the key level that at least stands out to me down here right around that 65-cent mark. So yes, there's still more, ugly that needs to form, but that's the point. Let things get extra ugly. And then at those points when everybody's waving the white flag is sometimes where those things can bounce. Again, no guarantee. So you got to be disciplined. You got to manage risk because you don't want to be one of these people that buy right there, then you hold and hope. And then before you know it, this thing's down, at 10 cents. So again, if you like to play these sorts of, opportunity in the ugly, you can be a disciplined trader. Then in my opinion, at least that 65-cent mark makes a very intriguing level. Next one, RIOT. This will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the video from yesterday, but I talked about this pattern here. And again, not to pat myself on the back, but the power of charts, that green line here, which I have not touched. If you don't believe me, I'm not offended. Just go back and watch yesterday's top 10. But you can see right here, fantastic job of once, twice, 3 times, 4 times providing support. So the power of charts. So more of the story here, that green line there remains the key level of support. And then on the flip side of things, some cruelty here because yes, that level of resistance, it was broke. Very nice move. So for you day trader scalpers out there, I mean, that was a very nice scalpable breakout right there. But unfortunately, it didn't last. Price came down here, and then you can see when the price did try to make another move, look right where the price started to struggle again. Well, right at that red line once again. So that remains the key level of resistance, which sits there at the $12.50 mark. But I will say last 30 minutes of the day, you can see very, very nice green candle is forming. Good solid volume here during this last 30 minutes as it bounces off the trend line. So is this the start of a bigger move where it comes up here and gets the break up through 1250? Let's see what happens on Thursday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency, to manage risk, then certainly get signed up for the free live training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one, CYTO, very nice mover today with the pullback here. But what I like about this pullback is how it's been doing a very good job of respecting that purple line there, which you now know is the 50-period moving average. You can see respected it. You get the idea, respected it. So more of the story here, right around this $1.80 mark, seems to be a key level of support here headed into Thursday. And then as far as levels of resistance are concerned, the level that I'm very curious about is that trend line right there, which puts the breakout point right up around the $2.20 mark, maybe slightly below. But like I said, you got to think that quite a few people are watching that trend line, and when a lot of people are watching the same trend lines and wondering this, the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So are there guarantees? Absolutely not. But is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price comes up here to this trend line and gets a break up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional pressure? That's certainly a plausible outcome. So keep an eye on this one, especially if you like this price range. Next one, GCTK. I did this one a few days ago, and that's where these lines are coming into play. But the first update here that needs to be done, and again, it just is going to turn into a perfect illustration of the power of charts, so I'll turn into a quick plug to get signed up for the free class. But last time I did this, talked about this $2.80 mark right here as a level of support. But with the gap down yesterday, just basic technical analysis, when levels of support are broken, they tend to act as resistance. And wouldn't you know it, look at where the price struggled today. Came up above, struggled at that red line, struggled, and even right now, as I speak, has struggled at that level. Now, does that mean that $2.80 can never be broken? No, I'm just saying it makes sense why the price is struggling at $2.80, and that'll definitely be the main battleground to watch moving forward. But even if the price does break up above there, you want to be a little skeptical because now not that far away from it, given the nature of this downtrending trend line, you can see that secondary area of resistance is not that far away. So it doesn't mean that the price can't break through both of those levels. I'm just saying that don't get overly excited just because the price breaks above that one, because then you have to throw out the question mark of, okay, but can the price break above that overall trend line right there? In terms of levels of support, classic example, it's kind of like a theme right now. A lot of these stocks really doing a good job of obeying their 50-period moving averages. But you can see right there, purple line bounced beautifully off it and then got somewhat close right there, somewhat close right there. So more of the story moving forward, that $2.18 mark going to be a key level of support. But yeah, the price last 30 minutes, good solid move. Can it break through 280? Let's see what happens. Next one here, TSLA. Tesla did this one yesterday, and I pretty much do it every day because I like to trade it. In fact, this was the only one that I traded today. But a brutal day. So a lot of updates here need to be done. Going to go ahead and get rid of those lines as they've served their purpose. And even that line right there, we're just going to start afresh. So as far as levels that stand out to me in terms of support that I think a lot of other people will be watching, the first key level right down there at that level, let's call it 179.50. So 179.50 you can see was a former area of support, both there and then right there. But if that level can't quite hold up, then at this point, obviously no guarantees, as I've said, but seems reasonable that the price could very realistically then go down to that 176.50 mark. So these will definitely be the near-term levels of support. As far as areas of resistance, a little bit of a flip side of things, meaning instead of the 50-period moving averages behaving as a support like it did back here, just a classic example again, that level of support was broken, and then right there, surprise, turned right into a resistance and rolling back over. So if there is any sort of bigger type bounce, right up around the 184.50 mark will be that main area of resistance. Next one here, AMD, and a very well-defined level that you got to think a lot of other people are going to be watching. So again, one of those talking points of self-fulfilling prophecies, whatever you want to call it. But right here around 91.75, Whoops, no, you can't see that. Let me get that out from behind my ugly mug. There we go. So right here, you can see acted as support, broadly speaking, and then you can see some congestion around there, some general congestion right there, and then right there just flat out bounce right off of 91.75. So keep an eye on 91.75, and then if that level can't quite hold up, then as I said with Tesla, no guarantees, but is it valid, is it plausible to think that a break of 91.75 could, bring the price down to at least 91, if not even lower than that? In my mind, yeah, that seems more than reasonable. And then as far as levels of resistance are concerned, my opinion, at least, you got to think a lot of people have drawn that pretty basic trend line right there. So, a lot of people are going to be watching that area there, but not only as an area potentially short, thinking that the price rolls back over through there, but you're going to have breakout players also watching that level. So keep an eye on that. But in my opinion, at least, all eyes are going to be on that 91.75 mark. And can the price hold? Is it going to bounce? Is the price going to fall through there? You can form a variety of trade plans, but the common denominator there is the 91.75 looking like it's going to play a role in the action on Thursday. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe that the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to rise, this one will also rise. Biggest difference here is it just allows you access at a much lower price point. And yeah, a lot of levels here need to just be deleted out, but a rough day here with the NASDAQ having a rough day. So I'm going to get rid of that. Now, the level I am going to keep in play here is because this trend line, again, this will mean more to those that have watched past videos, but the power of charts has continued to play a vital role in the action here. Yeah, there was the gap up here this morning, but that didn't last long. And then as soon as the price fell back below it, you can see right there, that level went right back to acting as resistance. So moving forward, if there is any sort of bounces overall, yeah, keep an eye on that trend line right there. But and more so the near term, if there's a bounce, you're going to want to watch that pink line there, 200 period moving average, right now valid at, let's just call it $26.50. As far as levels of support are concerned, got to squeeze things down here because as you're now seeing, it's not like the price is down at all-time lows or anything like that. But yeah, it's starting to get at some, relatively precarious areas here as far as the technicals are concerned, with that 25.95 mark being pretty important. But I would definitely say even at a more important level, if 25.90 does not hold up, is going to be that level right there at 25.60. Because at that point, then the price starts to enter into this kind of big old area of the former gap, which you can't see. So let me move that over here a little bit. There we go. So there's the gap right there. So this area right here, does the gap get closed then if that 25.60 mark closes, or if the price breaks below it? So that's going to be a key dynamic. But also, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. Because for all we know, the price is about to bounce off that green line and go back up. But overall, those are going to be the main technical levels on TQQQ. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the free live online class next week. It'll be Thursday, April 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment, say hi, tell me what you traded today, tell me what you're watching tomorrow. But those two things communicate to me that you enjoy. And as long as I know you're enjoying, I will continue to put the required time and effort to get this content out to you. So again, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and get signed up for that free class. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.